Hi, YouTube. It's Catherine Michelle, and today we have Sophia with us again.
Hi, everybody.
So I'm really glad she's back. What we're going to go over tonight is the Blacklight Report, and I've put it into a spreadsheet form. And it covers the dates. It has December 15th, but there's only one thing for December 15th. So it's really December 18th through the 25th, and we're going to see all of his, David's, that is, David and Kamel. When we're looking at some of these entries, it's pretty obvious Kamel was probably the one on the computer, but their computer searches and where they went and what they did and what they looked at. And this will give you a very good idea of what was going on and, you know, what they were looking for. And then you'll be able to decide for yourself if you think that they had snapped or were going over the deep end. What was the one thing that caught your eye, Sophia?
One thing. Well, just now it was the Zach Zobacek, I can't pronounce his last name, up video, and he had recorded the concert that Zach had before he died, and I believe he also did the memorial too. And I find that interesting that that was the last thing that he looked up.
Yeah, and
Zach's death really affected him. So,
well, it says the last YouTube search. Well, and that's what I find interesting. Hold on, I'm going to scroll back up. Yeah, last YouTube search, and is that what? Of course, we'll look at it too. I will show all of you guys the information that we got off of the Blacklight Report. But as I'm looking through here. I know I saw that, and it is on the list somewhere, but when I'm, you know, they make special notification. In fact, we will go over that. And let me share my screen with you guys, and you'll see what Sophia is talking about. So here we go. I'm going to share my desktop, and let's start off with this. And you see is the Blacklight Report showing?
Yes, it is.
Okay, so this is what Sophia is referring to, because on this Blacklight Report, you see the report of investigation. Down here, it shows the last search items, and it says the last YouTube one he looked up was this. The last video he looked up, which is kind of funny because these two are not the same video. And let's see. In fact, I think what I did is, oh, I did. Okay, hold on. Right here, I put that. And what the last video is, because right here they say the last YouTube video search was for this, but clearly the last YouTube video he watched was this video titled, let's copy, and I will show you guys. And are we on, can you see YouTube right now?
I can, yes.
Okay, and now we're going, this is the video that he was, the last video that he watched. So why they say the last YouTube video searched was that, when in fact this is the last, supposedly the last video watched. They should match, but they clearly don't. But this was the spiral light over Norway opens up Einstein-Rosen bridge or wormhole testing of CERN technology by Merriman 555. So here, let's go over this spreadsheet. Now, what I did, let me show you guys here real quick. As you see, this is the Internet History Search. This is coming from the laptop. This was the laptop on the counter, correct, Sophia?
Yes.
Okay.
From what I believe it is.
Okay, same here. I think that's the same thing. And this is the Internet History Search, so they list everything that was done in every web search, every Google search, every email. But the thing is with all of these, they are not in chronological order. So what I did is I typed all of them out into this spreadsheet, and then I put everything into chronological order. So now it falls into time and date. It flows. And what we have here is when you're looking at this report, you see that it is done in UTC time, but that is not the same time zone of where Apple Valley. So what I have here to the side, and you guys can find this too, this is a conversion chart of UTC time, and they lived in the Central Standard Time. Now, we know it wasn't Central Daylight Time, it was not Daylight Savings Time, but if it had, I would have used these hours. But since they were in Standard Time, I used these hours. So when their report says 22 hours, 21 minutes, 24 seconds, I went here, looked up 22, and it's actually 4 p.m. So it's 4:22:24. So 4:22 p.m. in the afternoon. So I did those conversions, and you'll see these conversions right here. You know, time that this here, the only item that was found for the 15th was the note that was created and left open on the laptop, that note being, I have loved you all with all of my heart. This was created on December 15th, or the file was created. Now, it could have been changed and manipulated, but the file that note was then written in was created on December 15th. UTC time here, but actually at 11 o'clock in the morning. So, but then the next entry, next computer log that they have isn't until the 18th. So they want us to believe, whoever they may be, I'm not pointing fingers at the police or anything like that, but we're supposed to believe that this laptop was not touched from the 15th until the 18th, that it sat for 3 full days without being touched at all. So you have to ask yourself, do you really think that's what happened? Yeah, I don't believe so. I mean, David, when you sit here and you look at all of these times and the multiple times during the day that they were accessing, and we're going to go through this, I'm just showing you right now quickly, every day.
Wells Fargo, please.
Sure. We're going to go through all of this, and we're going to cover all this as we go through the dates. We're going to go through it, quickly, line by line, but we'll stop longer at that for you. But I'm just showing everybody that he and she, both David and Kamel, used this laptop daily. So why are there no logs written or in the system from the 15th through the 18th? I'd like to know. But we start off here with, I don't know what the Google Plus notification, so clearly David or Kamel received a notification in the morning, at 2 o'clock in the morning. And then the next one on the 18th at 4 o'clock in the morning, Facebook Gray State Movie bookmarks. The next log is at 1:48 p.m. The Mind Unleashed, Reboot Your Life, 20 Mental Barriers You Should Let Go Of. I think this one was probably Kamel. What do you think?
Very well could have been. She was writing articles and stuff.
Yeah.
So that very well could have been her.
Yeah. And then let's look at this one, guys, right here at 4:21:24 p.m., which is what I showed you. That was actually the first one right here. And all it says is a YouTube, and that's what I'm telling you. It was not chronological order. This was the first one on their list, but you clearly see that other things come before that. But it just says that somebody went to YouTube. But then that's it. It stops. It's YouTube is opened up and that's it. Oh, I didn't have my time. Oh, this should have been down here. Oops, I did not put it in chronological order. My bad. So, oops, let me put this in. I'm like, because no wonder, that just didn't make sense. Okay. No, we need to put it right here. So here we need to delete. And okay, now we're in chronological order. So, okay, now it makes sense. YouTube, and then he does a YouTube search for Stalin. But, so we're going, you know, we have Kamel doing looking up something around 1 almost 2 o'clock in the afternoon. We're assuming Kamel, for the Mind Unleashed. And then later on that afternoon, around 4 o'clock, we have probably David looking up the Stalin executions, the mass execution in Soviet Russia, and then he's saving this video. So keep the video. So it's keep vid of the Stalin executions, and then another search on Yahoo, and then he goes to YouTube, and he's doing searches for same thing on both Yahoo and YouTube for the Stalin executions. And again, it's just when we're looking at this, it makes sense to me that David is looking up information for either Gray State or for another movie. What do you think?
He had said numerous times in his journal that he was working on other scripts and couldn't wait to finish the Gray State so he could work on other scripts. And after he sent it off in, was it October?
I can't remember.
The script, he then was happy because he could work on other things. To me, I think that he was working on other stuff and doing research for other things.
Yeah, or maybe because now was Gray State, was that going to be like a series or just a movie? Was it a series or TV series or what?
He had written the script for the miniseries.
Okay, so maybe that could have been too. Maybe he was doing research for the next installment, or we don't know. But yes, you're right. It could very well have been something different, or it could have been, But I think it's evident that this is like work related, because then we have him doing search for Stalin, and then he saved a video. And then played these videos back, and I don't know how many of you guys do this, but I do this a lot. I'll go, when I see a video I want, I go in and I save it to make sure I have it, and then once it's saved, I'll go in and then I watch the video. And that's what this is telling you he did. He saw the video he wanted, he saved the video, and then he opened it and was watching it. And then he's on the 18th again. I mean, there are so many entries for the 18th, it's not even funny. We have the Osama bin Laden, we have NATO, the NATO and Iraq war, and then uranium, Google searches for depleted uranium. I mean, you see it here, the official trailer for Black Hawk Down. He saved Act of Valor. So again, this is telling me he's gathering information for another project possibly, but it's an information gather system. Do you see anything weird in this, or does it make you stop and think? I know it didn't with the police. The police are like, everything seemed normal.
Well, I was looking up like the Great Purge, because trying to figure out about the Stalin executions, if it actually happened in December or what.
Mm-hmm.
And there was the assassination of Sergei Kirov, Kirov, December 1934. So I was just trying to get information. Maybe there was a different reason for why he was looking up that stuff. And maybe they had seen an article or something like that, and he was trying to get more information in regards to it to help write, or it was an anniversary. I'm not quite sure. So that's what I was looking up right now. And the brutal executions of Stalin's Great Purge, YouTube. That is YouTube. Thought there would be more information on that one, but I guess not. Over 7 million Soviet citizens were arrested in Stalin's Great Purge of 1937 through 38. Following the death of Lenin, the Communist Party, because Stalin died in March, December 1st, 1934, less than a year after he mentioned as a possible replacement for Stalin, Sergei Kirov was assassinated. Over 3,000 secret police agents were shot, and a third of the military officer corps were executed. Wow.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it is. So I could totally see this as research.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I agree, because so far everything, all of these just look like research information to gather. It's, so he's on a gathering mission.
Yeah, for the series, possibly. I mean, thinking of other scripts to write for it, or episodes. Yeah, I could totally see this.
Now, because it's been so long since I've read Gray State, did it have Russians in there? I know, I keep thinking of Red Dawn, and we know Red Dawn or whatever. They had different.
Yeah, that's what it reminded me of, was like Red Dawn and the Leftover, or the Left Behind series mixed into one. I don't think it was. He talked about German ancestor, but that was in the first script. I'm not sure about the second. And then I don't think so. I think it was more of a one world takeover kind of thing.
Oh, okay.
So
okay.
Like a new world order type takeover. And oh my gosh, I shouldn't have even said that.
I'm not worried about it. Because we're just talking about what he was writing about. We're not saying whether or not it was true, or if we think it's true. It's a fact. He was writing about it. So,
yeah.
Okay.
So yeah, that's what I think was actually going on. And then there was some type of trials. So show trials held in March 1938. And a lot of this, the mass executions and stuff, that was in his, wasn't that in the first script? But not really in the second script. Gosh, it's been a while.
See, it's been so long since I've read it. I think I need to go back and read it again. But it's clearly he's doing, like you were saying, research. It's clearly research for either this script or a new script, or maybe he was trying to expand. We don't know, but it's obvious it's research, and nothing that shows him going off the deep end. These are supposedly days before the murder, and it's quite a normal life. You see them both living. She's looking up stuff for her business. He's looking up stuff for his writing. They're going about their daily life is all I see. So I'll go back and we'll go back to the screen again. So again, and this is, okay.
And see down here on the 18th, no NATO, no war. Yeah,
right.
that's all part of the whole thing with the Stalin stuff.
Okay. Yeah.
So he definitely was doing research.
Yeah, so which is all of this up here. The Russians, Stalin, Russians, and then NATO, no war. Osama bin Laden, his death was announced. Uranium, depleted uranium. So, I mean, with all of this going from what, 4:16 in the afternoon, and now we're an hour later, hour and a half later, he's still doing research. And then now he's starting to look up Black Hawk Down. He watched the trailer for Black Hawk Down. He saved the video trailer for Black Hawk Down. Again, makes total sense. Act of Valor, same with Act of Valor. These are all war movies. White House Down, same thing. So, again, just clearly see a lot of, again, just research, all the way till, okay, that's the 19th. Okay, that was the 19th. So through the 18th, the last search he did was like the no NATO, no war, and that was done at 5:47. And then the next time the laptop shows any type of search or any activity, internet activity, was not until the next day, actually, almost 24 hours later. So it's starting at 4 o'clock in the afternoon on the 19th is when he starts searching for Black Hawk Down. Again, very normal. He's getting these, downloading the trailers. Everything seems normal. And then the fallen soldier, the bagpipe tribute, and Mom shares her story, shares her son's funeral. He watched that. He saved that video. And to me, again, that makes sense because in Gray State, I mean, there are soldiers in there. And so when you want something realistic, you're going to need something to fall back, something he can look to and go, okay, so this is how they did this, and now I can rewrite or write, and then we can make our scene realistic. So it makes sense to me. I don't see anything in here that would make me question any searches so far. What about you?
Yeah, I mean, it just all looks like research.
Yeah. Yep.
And since you put it like this, that's clearly what it looks like. He's writing a scene where they had deaths and then they're going to be burying their dead, and he's trying to write these characters possibly.
Yeah, and when you look at it in black and white, so we have from here to here. I don't know, you keep disappearing from my screen every time I click on this. I want to make sure you're there so I can see you. But, I mean, this whole area, this is all that took place on the 19th. So starting at 4 o'clock in the afternoon until almost 8 o'clock that night, it's just research on movies. Black Hawk Down, Act of Valor, White House Down, and then keeping the videos, rewatching them, and then looking up, a mom's video on her son's funeral. Again, perfectly normal. And then on the 20th, so we have, starting at 1:20 in the morning, we have searches for the the Gadsden flag. So there are, what, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 searches for the Gadsden flag at 1:20 in the morning. And I don't know why, but he had one of those flags, didn't he?
I think he did. He might have been looking for the history.
Yeah. Yeah, so he's just doing a Google search on the flag, but that's it. And then here's where you want to jump in and talk about. So starting on the 20th at 9:50 in the morning is the first search on. They type in Wells Fargo, and then they go into Wells Fargo sign on. They sign on. They go to their account summary, and then from there they go to payments and transfers. So you're watching their internet activity like in time. You see exactly what they're doing. And this was Kamel, correct?
I think it was, because David doesn't have any for the 18th. I have it up right now. That's what I was looking up. Let me go to the 18th.
This is on the 20th, on 12/20.
So David didn't have anything on that time. He had already transferred. This isn't the house payment, so I'm trying to figure out what they were doing, because David took care of Synergy, their energy company, on the 16th, I believe, either the 15th or the 16th. Transaction on the 20th. There's something transferred, $150. No, $1,500. It was a withdrawal on the 15th, and then there's the 28th. I don't see anything for the 20th.
Is that for David or for Kamel?
This is Kamel. I'm going to go back up a little bit further because they have several accounts.
Yeah, but I mean, we clearly see that on the 20th, according to their internet search history, they were doing something on their online Wells Fargo account. They typed in Wells Fargo in the search bar. They go to the sign-on page. They go to their accounts page. They go to their payments and transfer page. And then they
believe that there's calls to Wells Fargo on the 19th. I had assumed it had been the house, but the house payment was already taken care of by them.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know which account this was, but it is an account, and we see that they're taking care of their business. They're doing what they need to do. And then they verify the payment, and then they confirm the payment. So we see all of this in the internet logs. We see their activity. Again, normal everyday activity. They're paying a bill, whether or not it's their mortgage or a credit card or transferring into a savings account. Whatever it was, we don't know what that information is. We don't know which account it is because it doesn't say on the reports. But again, normal everyday activity on the 20th. And does this sound like somebody and people who are losing it? Going off the deep end and creating this pact theory? No, you're not going to worry about that, especially if you're taking everybody with you. You wouldn't do that. You would just ignore it. Why pay it? You know,
why pay any bills? Why pay the house? Why transfer and bother to have that money moved over? Because that's what they did every month. Mm-hmm. Kamel did it. David did it. And that money came into one account, and that's how they paid their house.
Yeah.
So, I mean, why even bother to make sure that the money was done if you're going to be declining and going to kill yourself?
If you're creating one of the theories is they had a pact theory. They decided together that they were going to end it all. Well, I don't think so, or he quote unquote snapped. Oh no, everything was normal, but then he just snapped, and that just doesn't happen. I don't care what anybody says, it doesn't happen. But we clearly see by these internet searches, they are just living their life. They are doing normal, everyday things that you and I do every day.
Yeah, I'm trying to look through Wells Fargo as fast as I can. I've looked at Camel's, I've looked at David's, and I'm trying to see if there was anything else. On the 19th, there was a transfer of $250, and then a reoccurring payment of Amazon Prime for $99, and then the monthly service fee. The reoccurring payment happened on the 31st. It's an online transfer to David's account.
Okay, so
and this
yeah.
is Hothead. This was Hothead, so he must have done that then at that time because this was the 19th.
Okay, but these all took place on the 20th, the next day.
That's so weird then.
So yeah, we'll continue here because we clearly see it all happened on the 20th. 12:20, starting at 9:50 in the morning was when they first started it. Whatever they did, it was a payment, money transfer and payment. They verified it at 9:51, so it was very quick. They went in, went out, and then confirmed that, got the confirmation that the payment went through at 9:51:55, and then at 10:02 they viewed their account, so just to make sure, and then there you go. So they're taking care of that business. And then on the 20th, starting at 10:06, they go from Wells Fargo to Craigslist, Minneapolis, St. Paul. And what they're looking for is silver for sale. If you have a pact theory to kill yourself, your spouse, and your child, are you going to be buying silver? No, you won't. And then at 11:41, there's a search for finding happiness through suffering, 8 ways to find light in the darkness, the mind unleashed. I made another spelling error. I hate it when I do that. Okay, this I believe was Camille. She was looking for. The Mind Unleashed seems to fit in with her searches. And then 16 ideas for raising your consciousness, the open mind. And then at 11:43, cracking the code and fooling nature. An Oscar winner's approach to screenwriting. I don't know. They're all the same time frame. Maybe it was David. I don't know. But that's one of those you're like, okay, that's a weird thing to look in, but all right. Mm-hmm. And then we have more looking for silver, buying gold and silver. And then an interesting, okay, that was it for the 20th. So on the 20th, they took care of business with Wells Fargo. They were looking for silver online to buy. And then these two for the Mind Unleashed, and then raising your consciousness, the openmind.com, and then learning how, screenwriter. But so far everything seems good. And then on the 21st, somebody goes to Danny August Mason's profile page on Facebook at 11:32 a.m., which I found really weird. Was that about the time where he was waiting to hear from Danny August Mason about the...
I believe it was, yeah.
So we know that they were not talking by this point because Danny August Mason was ignoring communication with David. David had it up to here with Danny, and so maybe he was just trying to see if he was online. Don't know, but somebody goes to Danny's Facebook page. And then they go to the Gray State movie page on Facebook, and then There, probably David checking his email. And then these next ones, these ego kick realistic cartoon characters that will change your childhood. This is, I didn't even know about this. This is so funny. Let me see if they still have that. Realistic, what was it called again?
Realistic ego kick.
Okay, realistic cartoon character. Oh, that's not Facebook characters. Okay, so
he was making a meme.
Oh, that will ruin your childhood. So we'll get through this real quick. This is what those sites are. You know, so this is what was being looked up. Again, no big deal, because at first it you know, it could be a little weird, like, what is that? What are they looking up? Something totally benign. It's like, okay. And then it goes from that to the influence Vedic philosophy had on Nikola Tesla's idea of free energy. And then we go back to Facebook Mind Body Manager. That is Kamel. That was her Facebook page. And so they're clearly in the same room using the same laptop within, you know, they're probably handing it back and forth. Here, let me see this. Here you go. Because he's watching that. He looks at that. And then she's on her page. And then there's a Google search to how to delete that Facebook page. And we know, according to David's journal, that it was Kamel's idea to quit her job. And she was done dealing with that stuff. And so, I don't know, did she ever mention, or did David mention why she would want to delete her Facebook page?
This was their job in Minnesota, right? The Mind Body Soul dietitian.
I think so. I thought that's what it was for. It was for the Minnesota life, and then they're going to be going to California. So,
I mean, she had called and canceled her dietitian's license. We had that call, and then she stopped the payment on that. She had talked about writing a cookbook. So, I mean, the only thing I could think of is maybe she was just over all of that and she just wanted to remove it from the internet.
Well, and I'm not sure that a license would transfer from Minnesota to California. So, you know, it would be a real waste of money to get your license extended in one state. Mm-hmm. Can't use it in the next. It would be like, no, I would wait till I get to the next state and then get my license there, which is probably what she was planning on doing.
And the phone records do show that they had contact with a mortgage company in California. They had their credit pulled several times by them. I don't think that she just would have canceled her dietitian's license if they weren't planning on doing that. Why not have a backup plan?
Right. I mean, exactly.
Especially if she was the only money maker in that household.
Right, exactly. And then that goes along too with, it blows the so-called pack theory out of the water, because everything that they're doing is not indicative of people who are going to just end their lives. This is completely indicative of those who are continuing and have plans and are working and making effort for their plans. They're getting things set in order. And yeah.
Now, I glanced through Wells Fargo super quick, and I very well could have missed it. But as far as I could see, I did not see anything for the 20th. So unless there's another account that they both had that, or one of them had that they were transferring stuff to, that didn't get picked up by the search warrant. I didn't see anything for that date.
Yeah, which is weird because they clearly have the internet searches and it lists everything from them typing Wells Fargo into the search bar until they actually get confirmation that the payment went through, and then, so that is really weird. You have the internet history search, but yet it doesn't match up with the statements. And I'm wondering if the statements are behind or are they ahead? Like if, say, you make a payment or you do something on the 15th, does it not show until the 17th? I don't know, on their records. I don't know.
Well, if they got confirmation, then it should show.
It depends on when they post it on their system. You can get, you can be confirmed that you have done that on your end, but not until it's posted, and then it becomes part of their permanent record. But we don't have access to all those financial documents, but we can clearly show you, again, they're living their life. They're doing everyday things, and Kamel is getting things. We know David is already getting things set up for his move to California. Now we see Kamel is doing the same thing. She's like closing out the life they had in Minnesota to prepare for the life they're going to have in California. So again, you're not going to go to all that trouble and do all that if you have a plan to just kill yourself and your family. Why? Yeah. Why would you do that? It makes no sense. Okay, so we'll continue. Here's Facebook Mind Body Dietitian. This is line 108 on 12/21 at 11:02 p.m. And then at almost 1:54:46 a.m., it's back to Gray State page on Facebook. Then the Facebook directory for David Crowley. And then at 2:06, we have the Facebook privacy change for Gray State The Rise. Then there's a look at the Facebook group activity for The Rise, looking at the members, Danny August Mason specifically for The Rise, which is just weird because why is he showing up all of a sudden? And now back to Danny's Facebook page and his member list. Like, why would you care who's on Danny's group member list? Why would that be of David's concern? And we're going to touch on this in just a minute. Was this really David or Kamel? Could this have been somebody else going to these pages? And then we have this really weird, on the 22nd, out of the blue, a Prince of Darkness Google search. And what this is paranormal stuff. So we have somebody accessing Danny August Mason's Facebook page. Now searches for paranormal. We know David and Kamel were not into the paranormal. Lots of Prince of Darkness searches at 2 in the afternoon, which is really bizarre. Paranormal psychology. What?
Do you know if the Prince of Darkness, was that the movie, or was it just the term Prince of Darkness?
What they were, I'm not sure, because here it was from the Paranormal Psychology on WordPress, so it could have been an article.
Okay, there was in 1987 American supernatural horror film. Then there's Wikipedia, Principle of Evil. Goodness sakes, I hope nothing happens to me and people.
Well, I know when I was typing this stuff out, I was going in and doing searches and stuff, and it was just, it was benign. I think it was like an article or something, but it just doesn't fit what David and Kamel have been searching. But again, we'll touch on why that, just be patient. I'm hinting at something that I think you're, I'm talking to the other people. I'm sorry, not to you, but to those listening. But be patient because, yes, I'm hinting at something, and when we get to the end, you're going to know why I'm hinting at it. But so here we go. We'll continue with this. And then another back to Gray State, The Rise, and then a search for Killian's Red, which is a song, again, pretty benign. And then the Satanic Verses, which is a book, we know that was written by Rushdie, Salman Rushdie. Then going to CNN, going back to Facebook, and then going to Google, and it doesn't say what was searched in Google, just that it was Google. And then a Google web search for, let's see if I can make this out. Oh, the lady with the 12 stars.
Mm-hmm.
So that was next. And then we have a search for Spartan Fidelity. Where is this coming from? Another song. And then on the 24th we have, okay, oh yeah, this was on the 24th. Oh, I'm sorry. Okay, so starting with the 24th was the first one at 1:47 a.m. was the Facebook group activity for Gray State The Rise. And then at 2:18 a.m. was this Google search for the woman with the 12 stars. 2:30 a.m. was Spartan Fidelity, where is this coming from, with the lyrics. And at 12:22 p.m., there's text notifications from Google coming in. That's getting logged in on the computer. And then someone's going to this Justin Kinsey's Facebook page and then looking at a bunch of photos. So I'm assuming that this has to be photos on Justin's page.
Waco,
and then,
Texas.
Huh?
He's from Waco, Texas.
Okay, cool. So we have, so probably it would make sense that this Justin sent a text or a message to David. David gets that. He goes to the Facebook page. He's looking at the photos. Then he starts looking up on a Google search called sexual healing. He's looking at another Facebook photo. And then my girlfriend and I are still virgins after being together for more than a year. And so this makes sense to me, like this must have to do with something that Justin had sent to David. So now David, or Kamel maybe, I would think, but I would think David is looking something up to help this person out. It's what makes sense to me. And then on 12/24 at 4:05 in the afternoon, the how do you say that? Badr, Iraq. So they're doing Google searches on that war, and then doing a Drudge Report search, and then CNN World News. And then on the 24th at 8:46 p.m., there's somebody had sent mail to Gray State. So they sent it to David's email from Gray State or regarding Gray State. And then back to those cartoon characters again, bunch of searches for those at 8:55 p.m. Oh, that's abandoned, not. Sorry about all the typos, people. Answers for abandoned places that will make your skin crawl. That's for up until what, 9:43 p.m. And then on 12/24 at 9:49 p.m. quick questions about your Forever Funding campaign page. That's something that came in to David. Somebody had sent him a question, which I found that interesting. So on his Gmail account, it gave you the topic, gave you the subject line. That was the subject line of an email he received at 9:49. And then at 9:52, he's doing research on Napoleon Hill. And Napoleon Hill, again, just quotes, very benign. Napoleon Hill had actually written books on how to get rich. And then Gmail accounts on 12. Now we're to 12:25 on Christmas Day. At 3:12 p.m., checking email. And then he's checking his inbox right there, checking email. And then at 3:40, somebody's on Facebook. At 3:42, top 5 things you didn't know about Christmas. Spirit science and metaphysics. Again, these weird things that pop in every once in a while that just have nothing to do with what David and Kamel were searching for. Then 12:25 at 3:43, almost 3:44 p.m. back to Facebook, but it doesn't tell you where on Facebook. There wasn't a link I could go to, and oftentimes the links that were in these reports, when I would type them into Facebook, they were pages that had been deleted, so I have no idea where it went to. And then 12:25 at 5:17 p.m. back to Google. 12:25 at 5:17. Now we're doing the Aleister Crowley search. At then 5:18, Aleister Crowley exposed, Jesus is Savior. And then the last search is at 12:25 at 10:09, 38. 10:09 and 38 seconds, back to Facebook, Gray State the movie. So at 10 o'clock at night, they're back to the Facebook page on Gray State.
The Iraq one, what day was that again?
The Badr, Iraq, that was on the 24th.
Okay, because there is an organization named that's in Iraq, and ISIL, and there was a battle of, and I'm going to butcher this, so I'm just spelling it, Baiji, and from late October 2014 to late October 2015, but on the 21st of December 2014, ISIL forces took Baiji and put their oil refinery under siege once again. So I'm thinking there might have been talk about it in maybe the Facebook group, or he might have seen some news story and he was looking that up.
Yeah, that makes sense. And so we see clearly, everyone, you see it. It's in black and white, and it came from the Blacklight Report, which you can find, right? That Blacklight Report is on the Justice for David Crowley and family page, right?
If it's not, then it's definitely on
Greg's
website.
Okay, you can definitely find it on Greg's website, and I will post the link to Greg's website in the description box, so you can go there and find it. You clearly see, and it's in chronological order, you see day by day what they were doing, how they were living, and there is nothing in there that even hints at someone who is losing their mind, who's going down a deep dark hole, who's super depressed, who's given up on the world, and who's going to just flip out. There's no pact theory, nothing here. Their searches just show you they're living their everyday life.
Paying bills, doing transfers, researching. It's just normal stuff.
Yeah.
So
and now
another narrative knocked out.
Exactly. And now the coup de grace, that's going to just throw all of this crap right out the window. And the only reason I'm showing this is because I have already presented this information to the city attorney, to the police department, and to the governor. This next piece of information. It's this is going to show you someone else was there. Someone else was accessing their computer. So that means David did not kill himself or his family, and it was not a pact theory. Here we go. Let me show you. And I'm going to show you on the report. This is the Blacklight Report. Do you guys see this here? Can you see this? Are you seeing
Yes,
the
I can
report?
absolutely see it.
Okay. You see where it says root file modified date 12/25/14?
Yes.
Now we see, okay, everybody, this is important. The root file access date. The last time the root file of that laptop was accessed was January 14th, 2015. Let that sink in. The root file was, as this computer, the hard drive was accessed after they were deceased. It's right here. They were already deceased. It was accessed January 14th, 2015.
Now, Catherine, could you explain to those of us who are not familiar with a root file and what it does or means? Could you explain that to us, please?
Okay. Let me go to, we'll go back here and I'll share my screen again. And what I'm going to show you guys, because there are only 4 ways, well, 5 ways really, but 4 ways to access the root directory. Do a Google search on a Mac, how to access a root directory on a Mac, and it tells you, here are the 4 ways. 1 is to go to the folder where the keyboard shortcut is located. And then you go to that folder, you type a / and hit enter. It takes you to the root directory. Or you can drag and drop the Macintosh HD into the folder sidebar over here. Then you can click on that and it will take you to, that link will take you there. Or you can show hard disks on the desktop to reveal the Macintosh. You can go, you guys do your own search on this right here. Access root directory on a Mac. The 4th and final way is you go to your prompt and you type in CD / enter. This is all manual, hands-on behavior. The only other way to get that is if you, where do I have that? You can do it remotely. You have to go to to use your remote management, you have to go to where you have sharing preferences and change the permissions. Again, it's a manual behavior. You have to go to that computer and then tell it to share it so others can then access from a remote location. We know that didn't take place before. We know David never did that. So someone on January 14th, 2015, accessed that computer.
Do we have the time for that?
That time was at, okay, let me look it up. Let me look up the UCC's time.
11:32:46 p.m. on January 14th.
Yep. So at night, at almost midnight on the 14th, that means almost the 15th of January, it was accessed.
On the 15th of January, he gets 4 calls between 1:04 and 1:54 a.m. from a California number, and then 2 more on the 17th at 3:17 a.m.
So I mean, I hope you guys, I hope your jaw is on the floor right now. And I hope everybody will start contacting the Apple Valley Police Department. I want you to contact the governor's office. I want you to contact that city attorney and let them know that their reports show that their laptop was accessed. Somebody went to their root drive, and the only reason you go to root drives is usually to alter information, change or delete files. But somebody, and it wasn't David, and it wasn't Kamel, and it wasn't Rania.
It was paleo.
I know.
Mystery solved.
I know.
We can all move on.
I mean, I hope you guys understand how huge this is and what this means and how this proves that somebody had access to that computer and somebody did access that computer on the late at night on the 14th of January, almost on the 15th. That's only 2 days before they were found. 2 days. Who did it? So now everybody keep in mind, we have blood that doesn't belong, blood or DNA that doesn't belong to David or Kamel or Rania in that house. We now have a laptop that was accessed after they were deceased, 2 days before their bodies were found. If this doesn't prove to everybody that there's somebody else involved, then for crying out loud, a movie showing the actual event is not going to convince you.
Amen.
It's huge. It's just huge. And again, the only reason why I'm sharing this, like I said, is because I have already presented this to the authorities. Nobody has done jack crap about it. Nobody. So why are they hiding this? Why are they running from this? This proves David didn't do it.
For everybody who would like to see these files, you can find everything on the graystage.wordpress.com, which is Greg's website. And he has all the files uploaded right there for everybody to look at. This has the Wells Fargo account. This has phone records. This has the Blacklight Report, the journals, the journal, not the journals. And it just has everything. So if you can't find it in the group, you just go to thegraystage.wordpress.com, and Greg has everything right there for you to look at. And you can see it for yourself. So,
yep.
Great work on the spreadsheet, Catherine. It's so easy to see it all right there in chronological order. You did a lot of hard work.
It took a while to get this done because, going through the Blacklight reports, and we're still not done. We're still doing more with this, but we're not quite sure where to go with that, what direction we're going to take. So I stopped where I was going to actually expand the spreadsheet and put more information, but we decided just to stop it here and do this video because you guys have got to see this information. You had to see what we found and how important this is. And so, and there's going to be some backlash on this from others, but I'm sorry, people. Yeah, it's like, I'm not even sorry. This proves someone else accessed that laptop. It wasn't an accidental bump. It wasn't, because it's up on top of an island. Keep in mind, this is on top of an island away from anybody and everybody. But to get to that root drive, you have got to manually type in to get to that, or remotely type in to get to that root directory. Now, if someone has access to that computer remotely, or even while they're there, were these weird internet searches that just don't seem to fit, like the paranormal stuff, were those planted? Did they go in and alter a root directory information, change dates and times and stuff, or whatever? They manipulate it? Did they delete stuff? Everything. There's a lot of possibility there. But what we know for an absolute fact is that computer, somebody manually touched that computer, typed in that computer, and was searching the root directory after they were dead. The only people who would do that, I believe, are the perpetrators.
Yeah.
So
you have the official narrative from the documentary and all of the BS that certain people have said and friends have stated in their interviews and comments to the group versus reality, hard facts from the Blacklight Report that Catherine has put into a spreadsheet for us to easily see, because the Blacklight Report just has everything jumbled up, but it is all directly from there. And you can see it for yourself if you go to Greg's website, thegraystage.wordpress.com, and it's right there in black and white. So I don't know what else to say.
Yeah.
It's clear as day.
We've been looking for evidence that is solid and that's absolute proof, and we have it. And like, we have other stuff, but that is just going to have to wait. But and that I won't put out. That will not come out until we get this either reopened or it goes to court. One of those two things. But right now, you guys had to see this. So now you know, without a shadow of a doubt, you see it from them in the report, the evidence that proves there's someone else involved. We've already known that by the blood work. Now you know it by the computer information as well. And that's all I wanted to bring to you. I have nothing else to add. What about you, Sophia?
I have nothing else to add either.
Okay.
It's actually pretty shocking,
Yeah.
Because I had assumed that it was just the computer doing like an update or something. But no, you have to physically do it. So,
yes.
And I don't think that Pause could access that.
No. And so anything about, it's just going to act, start itself up again, and it's doing an update, or by that point it would be in sleep mode, and they generally don't do update. That still is not it. It says root drive accessed. Mm-hmm. And the only way to get to that root drive is you're going there for a specific reason. Now, a lot of people, if you're old enough and you worked on computers way back in the day, and with the DOS prompt, if you remember, to get to your root drive, you're like going, oh, wait a second, is something messed up? I need to go check my root directory. You'd have your little C prompt. You would put in dir / hit enter, and it would pop up your root directory. It's similar to that, except for they've condensed it to where all you have to do is put in that / enter, and then you're taken to that root directory. It's a manual process. So I really hope that this sparks some really good debate, lots of good comments. And again, please start contacting the Star Tribune in Minneapolis. Start contacting the city attorney. Start contacting the Minnesota governor, the police department, the new police chief, everybody you can think of, because they have to know that we are serious. Right now, it's just one or two of us that have been writing, and they don't care. They're tossing it aside. Let's put the pressure on them. Let's get this case reopened.
Absolutely. Amen.
So thank you. Hope you guys have a great night.
Thank you, everybody.